This video sponsored by Meeple Movers. No minimum order, no subscriptions. Free shipping on every item, every day. At meeplemovers.com.
Hello and welcome to Brian's Got Game. I'm Brian. Today I've got an expansion called Imhotep, a new dynasty. This, of course, is an expansion for Imhotep by Phil Walker Harding and published by Thames and Kosmos. In this expansion, players get to add variety to the game with 5 new double-sided sideboards. These locations can be mixed and matched with the base game to give you 5 boards with 4 possible sides, or 120 different combinations. Also, as an option, you can add Prophecy of the Gods cards. There are 7 total prophecies, but 3 are randomly selected and the others go back in the box. Each player can place a token on a prophecy twice during the game. If at the end of the game the prophecy came true, you score points. The earlier the prophecy, the more points you get. So let's check it out, and then I'll show you all the new components, how to win the chariot race, and introduce you to Imhotep himself in Imhotep, a new dynasty. So I have the original game completely set up with all of the pieces on A side. So I'm going to replace them with the new ones. So we've got the market. I'm going to explain them as I bring them in. So this is the market C side. So in the original market, you just have them and you pick them, and then the B side, you should be familiar with those, and if you're not, then you can become familiar with them somewhere else. Here we're talking about the expansion, not the original game. So the luxury market, you have the 4 cards just like normal, and just like the A side, you just take one. Now you can also spend one of your coins. At the beginning of the game, you're given 2 coins, and you can do this twice per game. You can gain 2 cards that are next to each other. So you can get those 2, or those. You can't get diagonally. Now on the other side, it's the black market. So here you have them placed down just like normal. But on these ones, there are 3 placed face down. Like so. And then, either you can take one of the face-up ones, or you can look at the 3 and take one of those. Next is the temple. So this is the C side. So the original temple you're building and you view from the top. This is also viewed from the top, keeping with keeping them kind of the same. These are, you're building the top, but you only have 3 spots, and then whoever's viewed from the top, you can choose to either get 2 points or gain 4 stones. Again, 2 points or 4 stones, and this is draw 3 cards and pick one. So whoever's viewed from the top gets each of those, depending on where it is. And on the back, we have the temple arena. So on this is a chariot race. So we've got our 3 chariots. We've got the white one, the gray one, brown, the red one. All right, so we've got our 3 chariots, and they're all on the start. So if you stay there, this scores at the end of the game and after every round. The other side scored every round. So whenever you play your stone, you go the number of arrows there are in there. So if red played this here, they would move 2 on the track. So 1, 2. Gray placed that there, they go 1, and if gray played another one, they'd go 3. Another rule is that if red played next and went 2, they'd be on the same space. If you're on the same space, then the player who just moved goes 1 more. At the end of each round, the player who is the farthest gets 2 points, and then in a 3 or 4 player game, second place gets 1, in a 2 player game, second place gets nothing. And then at the end of the game, you score the points of the space you're on. So if you're on the start, you get -4, 0, 1, and it goes up to the end, which is 10. So next is the obelisk. So placing that. This is the C side, the Great Obelisk. So in this, during the setup, if playing with this, you need to deal each player their obelisk base. So we have that there. It has 3 spots on it. 1, 2, 3. When somebody plays their token there, gray puts it here, you get the token that's on there. So you get this piece. So gray. So you put that there. And you're building your obelisk. You can't build farther than the 3. So for this one, you'd have to place it going up. And then you can't have any blank spaces, so I couldn't put that there. So this scores at the end of the game, and you get 2 points for each complete row, and then at the end of the round you gain the amount of points here. For this 3-player game, first place would get 6, 2 would get 3, third place would get 0. So that's that obelisk side. And then the D side is Obelisk Alley. So this one is when you take a boat there. For this one, you don't need these cards. For this one, if you take a boat there, the first person takes their cube and chooses where they want to go. Let's say they place it here. So height 4, 10 points. So what that means is when choosing to go here, any more cubes you go has to go on to this one until the height reaches the height, which is 4. At that point, you would gain 10 points at the end of the game, and then when you go there again, you can choose a different one. So red's going to choose that one, and then gray could choose this one. Go there. 6, height 18. So then maybe in a later round, red goes there with 2 more. They put them on there until that's all the way full, and then if they go there again, they can choose to go somewhere else. Then at the end of the game, you gain the amount of points for the one that you're at. Alright, I'm going to go a little higher. Next is pyramids. So the first one, seaside, is scaffold. So for this one, you're going to take the scaffolding tokens, mix them up, and then get rid of one, and then you're going to put one here. The rest are going to go here. So when a boat goes there with tokens, you put them on in order. So that one would go there. You'd get 1 point immediately, and you'd get a stone. So I'd get a stone, and I'd get a point. And then gray would get 5 points. And then once that is completely filled at the end of a round, then the next one comes, and you play that. Now, if one is only half filled at the end of a round, then it stays there. And this symbol is they gain a card after going there. So just putting tokens on here so it'll support. If you completely fill up it completely, each additional one is 1 point. Most of these are also like that. This one is the backs of a bunch are also. So that's the seaside. D side is the corridor. So for this one, you also need some setup. Okay, so for this one, all you need is Imhotep. The rules say to start it in the top left corner. So if a boat goes there with stones on it, you're going to put them in order in front of him. So in this case, I get 2 points. Gray would get 1 plus 3 is 4. And you're going to continue going. So after you place them, you're going to take Imhotep and put them on the last cube played so far. The one with the number in front of it. Also, when you take the action to draw 3 stones, you choose whether or not to move Imhotep 1, which can influence how many points each players get. So he could continue moving before some are played. Alright, that's Imhotep. The final one is the burial chamber. So slide it up. Some more. Alright, we've got the burial mound. So this one, alright, so when a boat comes here, you're going to be putting them on as they're on the boat. And you're just going to keep building it, and each player is trying to create sections of their own. So they want to connect their colors. Now, other players are trying to build their own and cut other players off from storing. Now, we're kind of building a pyramid, so that level has 5, and the next level is going to have 4, and then after that, 2, 3, and 1. Sorry, 3, 2, and then 1. So either you play, for this scoring, you keep going until it's completely full, and after that, each one's 1 point, or until the game ends. So at the end of the game, you're going to score it like, you're going to score it in how they're connected and how many rows that connection goes up. So if it looked like that from the side, so number of connected stones multiplied by the number of levels, max 4, and then you score each section. So right here, white would get 2 times 1 level, so they get 2 points. Gray would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, multiplied by the 3 levels that it's on, so that'd be 15. And then red would get 2 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4 is 24, so they'd get 26 points. So if other players can let you create big amounts, then you can kind of run away with it. Alright. Finally, the last one is the burial chamber, the tomb. So for this, you're going to need some setup before. You're going to need these little cubes, well, these little squares. So they've got numbers on them, and what you're going to do is you're going to make them all face down, and then you're going to mix them up. So there's 24 of them, numbered 1 through 24, and you're going to mix them all up, and then each round, you're going to reveal 4. So at the end of 6 rounds, you'll have played through all of them. So you're going to reveal all 4, and then whenever a player goes there, they pick one stone. So when you pick your stone, you're going to take the piece, and put it in the box, and then put it on the stone that you took. So after a whole bunch of rounds, you're going to have some connections and some not connected. So let's say it looks like this. We went a lot of rounds where people didn't go there. So what you're going to do is you're going to score the number of connected stones. So right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, which could give you 2 points. 1 gives you 1, so that would be 10, 11, and then 2 more would give you 3. So gray would score 14, white would score 2, and if color didn't go there at all, they'd get -4. So this game also came with 14 new market cards, and you just shuffle them in. Just some red actions. Here we go, here's one of them. Private Quarry. Immediately you receive 1 point and 3 stones from the stone quarry. And then it also came with some more statues and some other cards. Alright, so another thing, actually here are the coins that come in the game. I forgot to bring them out. These are what you use for the luxury market. You just get 2 at the beginning of the game. At the beginning of each game, if playing with the Prophecy of the Gods, each player would also get 2 scarabs. And then you're going to have a bunch of these gods out. So you'd have 3 out of the 7 in a game. So a moon is at least 3 red immediately used cards. So you need to use 3 of them. And then you need to save them with you. So some of these kind of change the rules, whether you put it back in the box or you keep it. Just keep count. The most stones in the burial chamber, there, and then the most stones in the temple, here. So you place it there, saying that you're going to do that by the end of the game. So on rounds 1 and 2, you put that here, and then the most stones in the burial chamber can be here. So when that happens, you get, if it's in the first round, you get +7. First or second round, you get +7 points, or -3. If you were and -3 if you were wrong. So the green number if you were right, red number if you were wrong. You only get 2, so use them when you can, and you can only place 1 per set of rounds. Now in rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6, the numbers are less. The losses are also less because you know more about the cubes that are out. So that's how to play Imhotep with Imhotep: A New Dynasty. Okay, I've got my dad here for parents' opinion. So Dad, what did you think of Imhotep: A New Dynasty?
I thought this expansion was the ideal expansion. Mm-hmm. It didn't add like a whole bunch of convoluted rules. Mm-hmm. The core rules stay the same, but it added tons of variability mm-hmm. and replayability.
Yeah. So they completely doubled the amount of different combinations you could have. So going from 60 to 120, adding the 5 new boards, each double-sided. Those are really good quality, just like the original game, and then it added the Imhotep figure, which for the Pyramid D side, and then you have all of the chariots for Temple D side, and then all of the other cardboard pieces for the Burial Chamber and the obelisks.
Yeah, and you can choose to play the base game and then just throw in 1 new one, mm-hmm. or
you have
2 new ones, or flip them over. Like mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many combinations.
So many combinations.
Yeah, permutations.
Okay. So the artwork is just as good as the original game on all of the different things. New artwork for everything.
Yeah. But the question is does the coast
it
match
didn't,
to all of them?
The coast didn't even match up in the original game.
I know you were very frustrated.
Yeah, just a little bit. Some of them do, some don't. So strategy. This adds a whole lot of new strategy for all the different sides. It'd take almost as long as it did to tell you guys about it to explain the strategies for each one.
Well, say your favorite.
My favorite
one.
I like the pyramid corridor, the one with Imhotep moving around, and then putting them down. And then I also liked the...
Yeah, that one was
Yeah.
probably the most strategic because you could choose to move him
Mm-hmm.
when you refreshed your sled. And I guess depending on, like, if you got 4 players, he
moving
could
a
be
lot.
moving around a lot.
Yeah. Running around.
But he doesn't
It's
have
okay.
to move. You
Yeah.
don't have to move him.
And then the other one I really liked was the burial chamber tomb, which is the one with all the different squares that you mix up.
You got lots of points.
I
there.
did.
That's why you like it. So while you were busy checking out the tomb, I was running around the race.
Yeah.
I guess I was riding in my chariot.
I still beat you in that, though.
Yeah, well, I gave up at the end because I forgot about my obelisk.
Oh, yeah.
Because I decided to build the biggest one and then ignored it the rest of the game.
Though you still finished it, which was an incredible feat.
Yeah, so I guess the chariot one was my favorite one,
Mm-hmm.
but in a close second was the one with the little Tetris pieces.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was really neat. How you got to grab those and you had to build up your own little thing and play Tetris.
Yeah. So something that I really liked about all of them was that they each have their own thing. Like something that I thought was cool was they each had their own like different rule with pieces that came, and it was different for each one. It kind of felt like you're adding different modules or something like that.
Yeah, and I think
then-
you had to because the first 5
Yeah.
had A and B sides, and they kind of exhausted what you could do with cubes and Egyptian themed things, pyramids and burials and markets and things. But yeah,
Yeah.
like you're right. Like they added in the scaffolding one was kind of cool.
Yeah,
too.
that one was cool.
So you each have your own little module and pieces, just to make it fresh and new mechanics.
And then each one is strategic in its own way that, like you said, you were like, oh, I'm going to go build the big obelisk, and then you forgot about it. So, like, you got to kind of keep on top of each one and just kind of pick and choose.
Yeah, yeah. You can't really do all of them.
I mean, you could. And I kind of did. I
You
made sure
you
that I
do
played
all
like
of
each
them
one.
half as good than if you picked a couple, I guess.
Yeah.
But it depends on how where your boats go. Somebody could
Yeah.
make your boat go to the wrong place.
No. So easier for kids. I mean, it's a little harder than I think from the original Imhotep, just because of the new things. But if they caught on to Imhotep, they could probably get this
it's
pretty easily
The
too.
mechanics are easy. Put the cube on the boat, sail the boat.
It's just some of the different things on the boards.
These ones are a little more like the concepts are a little bit more abstract, and then the reading on the cards. But
Yeah.
I mean, this probably isn't one you'd want to play with elementary school. I think it says
like-
10 and up. I think on the box. So
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, and then on the cards, you could, like, for the blue ones, put cube on boat, move boat.
yeah, if you want to make them super easy.
So overall, I had a lot of fun with this expansion. It added a lot of stuff, but it wasn't like new game.
Yeah, Imhotep is one of my favorite games. Nominated for the Spiel. Unfortunately, that was the same year as Codenames.
Oh yeah,
I think that it should have won. So when I saw the expansion come out, it was like, ooh, let's go check this out. And they, like you said, it adds these modules that it feels like and really freshens up the game. And it's like every time you play, it's new.
yeah. That was like the last and final thing I wanted to say was it is almost like new each game. It's got kind of like the familiar feel of the original game, which I really like, which is what you want in an expansion. You're still putting cubes on boats and you're moving the boats. That's still the main thing. I didn't go into a lot of that in the how-to because if you have the expansion, you probably have the original
it's
game.
the same from the base game.
So like the same game's still there. It's just that the boards have different things, and I just had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, this one is awesome. If you like the base game, go check it out. If you like kind of what you saw here with the expansion, definitely go play the base game. It's a really, really fun one, especially with families.
Yeah. So Imhotep, A New Dynasty by Kosmos. Thames and Kosmos. Thank you for watching. Brian's Got Game. Please like us on our Facebook page. Send us a tweet at Brian's Got Game. Visit our webpage, briansgotgame.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Brian, and this is my dad, and I'll see you next time.